Alrighty, hello, what's going on everyone? This is I Talk Retro here, and in today's video we're going to be covering retro achievements. This entire YouTube channel is going to be basically revolving around the website RetroAchievements.org. This is going to be the introduction video to retro achievements, just so you guys have an understanding on what it is, because not everyone knows what it even is. So, Retro Achievements is a website dedicated to making achievements for games that never had achievements in them. So when you think achievements, you think Xbox 360, you think PS3 with the trophies and stuff like that. Anything older than that, that never had achievements, like PS1, PS2, Sega Saturn, Sega Genesis, the Atari, the GameCube even, they all get achievements on this website. And it's really cool. The way I discovered this website was I was playing a game called SmackDown vs. Raw, really fun wrestling game. I played through the challenge mode a bit, and I'm like, that was fun, but I feel like there's more I could be doing with this game. You know, you play the season mode, you do the challenge mode, and then you're kind of done. Like, what's the point in really even playing anymore? Well, then I discovered Retro Achievements. I'm like, this is a really cool way to play games that you never played before or have played, but want to experience the game even further. So for an example here, we'll go to that game that I was just talking about. We're going to look up SmackDown versus Raw, and you'll see right here, WWE SmackDown versus Raw is right here. And you can see that there is a whole bunch of achievements. There's 155 achievements for this game right here. You can see it's worth 883 points. We will get to the point system and everything when we get to it. But for an example here, this was basically the first game where I'm like, oh, I should probably play this through Retro Achievements, and I did. And you can see when I unlocked the achievements, at what time, also what the achievements are. They have a description, they have a name, they have a point total that they give you for everything. And they also even show you similar games on the side here, like, hey, SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. It's in the same series. This is a similar game. Same with 2006 version, 2007 version, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011. So they recommend you games similar to the game that you're looking at, which is actually pretty cool. Now, granted, not every video game on this website has achievements, but they do have things ready to go in case someone wants to make achievements, such as the Mastery Badge. So the badge that you see right here is the badge that will be on your profile once you master the game. So we should talk about that now too. You could also see here, before we do that, you can also see here we have the author, the person that made the achievement. So in this one, it's a Neon Pug. He makes a lot of achievements, which is very appreciated. Like I said, 155 achievements worth 883 points. And there's one missable in this. And you can even click the only show missables. And this one is have 3 managers at once in season mode. The reason why it's a missable is because if you progress through the story mode or season mode too far and you don't do the correct sort of things, then you're locked out. You have to start the game over again. That's essentially what a missable is. Think of it like if you ever played Sly 2 and you know that when you complete a mission, you can't play that mission again unless you start a new game. That's a missable. So if there's a mission that you have to do in a specific way and you don't do it and then you complete the mission, you have to start the game over again. That is what is considered a missable. And then we have progression. Progression just means you're gonna do this no matter what. As you progress through the game, you will get this achievement. Win a non-title match at Judgment Day pay-per-view. That's part of the progression of the season mode. Also, you can see here, this is another cool thing I really like, is the percent of unlock rates. So you can see here that 108 or 68, we'll get to this too, of 654 people that have played this game with Retro Achievements have unlocked this particular achievement. Now, you could play Retro Achievements in 2 different ways. You could play it in softcore or hardcore. I would recommend hardcore for everyone, but I'll explain them real fast. Softcore essentially is you can use save states, you can use rewind features, you can basically do everything that you can to make the game as easy as humanly possible, which I'm not judging, but you're not going to get mastery through that. You get mastery through playing through hardcore mode, which is no save stating, no reversals. You can fast forward, which is nice if you're playing like an RPG and you want to speed it up a bit, as well as you can't, like I said, no save states, no rewinds. You can use fast forward though, and you have to basically play the game legit, like no cheat codes unless achievements state otherwise. And when you beat a game through mastery, you will get a badge, which I will show you on my profile here. So for SmackDown vs. Raw, it's right here. you see I have like a golden square around the icon here, and that signifies that you mastered the game, which is really cool. I think it's a very fun little reward to have something like that. We're gonna move on here. You can also see the first number right here. This is the total amount of unlocks, and then the number next to it is the hardcore unlocks. You can also see here the golden bar, that's hardcore, and then the whole bar is softcore. Essentially, like softcore is like the silver bar, but the total amount of people is this whole bar right here. So lets you know about that. Now, another really cool thing, if you're having a little bit of trouble with your achievements, which is completely understandable, who doesn't have that? Let's go to this achievement, because I almost guarantee you it'll be here. Every achievement has a comment section. So we're going to click on Chick Magnet here and look at this. We have a comment from Blair Fools right here who says, you will have to dedicate an entire season mode run just for this achievement, but it shouldn't take too long. If you skip 90% of the content, pick any high SP character that isn't the champion of the game, Triple H or Undertaker. And he just explains it, which is really nice that there's people out there that are willing to help you get achievements. I think that's a really, really nice idea. And you can also see here, here's the people that recently unlocked it, whether it's in softcore, which would be blank, or hardcore, which again, I prefer people just play hardcore, but play however you want. I will never judge someone for not wanting to do that. Hey, look, there's me. I got this on July 7th. So there you go. I love data. I think this was just a really neat idea. You can also see when the achievement was created, as well as when it was last modified as well. We're going to move on here. There's also hubs. So this game is in quite a few hubs. It's in a WWE game, so there's a series for that. There's English games, greatest hits for the PS2, the platinum hits for PS2, developer, and then also just like other stuff like that. Really cool. THQ as well. So if I click on like this right here, it'll show me every WWE and WWF game, which is really cool. Again, not every game is going to have achievements, sadly, but you can request achievements. So for example here, one of my favorite wrestling games, besides Here Comes the Pain and the original SmackDown vs. Raw, is the 2006 version of the game. You could do what's called a request, a set request, and I actually have mine in the request here. There's 136 other people that would like this game. The more requests a game gets, the more likely a developer or a coder will come in and make achievements. Making achievements is a voluntary thing. Not everyone is obligated to do it. And it's also important to know that it's not like a paid thing. People volunteer their time to play through the game, code the achievements, and then make them for us. They're not going to be like, they're not obligated to do it. And if there is an active claim for a game, that means it's being worked on, but that doesn't always mean it's going to 100% happen, especially anytime soon. Like for example here, if we look up Wrath of Cortex, which is a PS2, Xbox, and GameCube game. Xbox does not have achievements yet, sadly, but maybe in the future it will. If we take a look over at the GameCube version, there is no achievements. There's 150 requests, and 2 people are working on the achievements right now. And it even says that one of the developers right here, which is, I can't pronounce their name, but they were working on achievements today, actually. So they're developing achievements for this game. They're actively working on getting this game done, and I will be mastering it once it's available. I already did it for the PS2 version. I do not mind doing it for the GameCube version. Very okay game, but not important. Also, you can see the badge. The badge here is really cool, and I really want it next to my other Crash Bandicoot games, which you can see right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Crash Bandicoot badges. Very nice. And yeah. Moving on, here's the homepage for everything. You can see like a bunch of different news things and stuff like that. This gets updated basically daily. You could see the just released games as well. So like 1 hour ago, someone made Time Pilot, which is an arcade title. MDK, which is a PS1 title. This one I'm actually pretty interested in is a game called Roadkill for the PS2. Never heard of it. I click on it and I see it's developed or published by Midway. And I love Midway. And apparently it's also a vehicular combat game, kind of like Twisted Metal and Vigilante 8. And I'm thinking, oh man, I might actually be interested in this. And because this game, the achievements just came out, only 9 people have played it so far. So not a lot of people are playing it right now. It literally just came out. Give it time. You can also see that there is a leaderboard for most points earned. And also it has that with like masteries and stuff like that. So for example here, let's go to my profile. Let's go to a game called Jambo Safari. Love this game to death. It's a really good arcade game. And I think I'm like the second person to have mastered it. Yeah, so you can see here, the one Ross mastered it already, and then I am number 2. So you can see I have the gold little thing right there, means I mastered it. If you have the silver one, that means you beat the game. So there's beating, and then there's mastering. Mastering is getting every achievement. Beating is just beating the story mode. And as we scroll down here, you can also see that there is recent players. You can see people that are actively playing the game as well, which is really cool. I last played it on the 21st, and someone is actually pretty close to mastering it right here. You can see their progress right here. And you can also see like what character they were running, how many points they had. It's just really neat. Also, there's comments for every game as well. So you can see that I left a comment here about how much I loved the game growing up and all that good stuff. The way you do retro achievements, by the way, is all through emulation. So for example, I'm going to open up my Duck Station, which is a PS1 emulator, and you will see here, as it does decide to load, if it does decide to load, actually it did load already, there we go. Here are all my PS1 games that I have, that I can emulate and is basically ready to go for any time I want to play any of these games. I am connected to my Retro Achievements account, so when I open up a game like Silent Hill or, I don't know, Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, that's probably going to be the next master I do, actually, maybe thinking about it now. You just click on it and it'll open up the game and it'll say, hey, you have 0 out of whatever achievements, and you can start going for them now. Really cool system. I really do enjoy this sort of aesthetic. You can do it for PS1, PS2, and let's get into that too. Here is every console that has achievements: Game Boy, Color, Advance, NES, SNES, Nintendo 64, GameCube, DS, the Pokemon Mini, Virtual Boy, PS1, PS2, PSP, the Ataris, Master System, Game Gear, Genesis, Sega CD, Dreamcast, the Saturn, PC, Neo Geo, and then a whole bunch of other stuff here, including arcade. Arcade is what you think it is. Arcade games are the ones where you would go to the arcade and play them on, you know, those big sort of things. If you ever went to like a Dave and Buster's or even like a Chuck E. Cheese, you would see all these games. So they've got ones like Donkey Kong, and they even have the old 2D beat 'em up Simpsons game. Again, the badge looks really cool. Might have to get this sometime. And you can see that 3,528 people have played it. Now, there's also official forum topics here that we'll go into right now. You can see here that this is basically what is going on with the game. You can see that they're changing up some achievements, currently working on a set, and then, yep, it's just a forum of how to help out with the game and stuff like that. Here's all the achievements, just updating some of the points. So there you go. And yep, there's 2 pages of this. Again, just really cool. A lot of community effort. With this, which is really cool. And you can also see supported game files. So here's the files you would need in order for you to play the game. I'm not going to go into the details of where to find these games. That is something you have to find out for yourself. I will say this. I know that when people play these games for retro achievements, I know for a fact that majority of them are playing the games without actually physically owning them. I am not going to stop people from doing that. I think if you want to enjoy abandonware games where the devs are no longer selling these games, I don't see the issue with people playing these games on their own, however they want, without physically owning the game. If I was to go out and buy a game and master it for retro achievements, how much money did the developers actually get? 0. I just gave money to someone on eBay to buy the game off of them. That's the way it kind of works. I still want to own every physical game that revolves around the retro achievements. Obviously, I can't do Jambo Safari because I would have to buy a $3,000 Jambo Safari arcade cabinet and put it in my room. Like, that's just not going to happen. But as for everything else, like PS1, PS2, and all those other kinds of games, I want to own physical copies of them. And I think 99% of these games I own physical copies of. And what I want to do in this little series of mine that I want to do with this introduction, by the way, is I want to cover every game I master through this sort of way where I show off the website, I show off the game, how many achievements it was, my opinions on the game, my thoughts on the game, as well as showing you the physical copy of the game. So you do know I do have a physical copy, but again, it's not a requirement, but it is an idea to just have the physical games on standby. So you do legally own a copy of the game. But hey, again, I'm not going to judge if you don't, care about doing that. I am a physical preserver of retro games and I love them. So I don't have a problem with doing that necessarily. So there you go. That is the introduction to retro achievements. Also, real fast here, if you need to know what emulators to use, go to the download page and you have a lot of options. RetroArch is probably the best one that most people use because it supports over 45 systems, which is crazy. I use DuckStation for PS1, PCSX2 for PS2. For Dolphin, I use Dolphin for GameCube and soon to be Wii, because Wii games will be coming in March. Very excited for that. There's also one for PSP and then just some other stuff here. But if you want like one that just has all of it, I would just recommend RetroArch. That one's pretty good. And yeah, that's about it. And again, you got to find the ROMs yourself. You could also burn your discs onto your computer and you're able to play those as well. Other games are a little bit harder to do that with. I understand, like with Game Boy, obviously it's kind of hard to do that. But regardless, guys, that is it for Retro Achievements. I'm curious to know what you guys think about Retro Achievements, and will you be going for any crazy Retro Achievements? We're going to be covering every single game that I have mastered in a very simplistic way like this, where I just show off the website and just go through all of them. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully you learned something useful and hopefully you try out Retro Achievements. It's my latest addiction. I've been grinding this out since mid-June and I have been loving every minute of it. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching the video and I will talk to you all later. See ya.